ladder truck is match play.
Oh, I never realized that. Yeah, makes sense.
All right, I'm answering questions on Instagram, and this is this is one of the better ones. What does your highest and lowest note sound like? So let's try this.
Do it again. Do it again. Do you want anything?
That's the way love goes. I want them to go to sleep.
But do you want anything?
Yeah, well.
All right, on the road again this weekend. Noah Guthrie, Good Trouble. Headed to Connecticut, right? Headed up there to play a show at Mohegan Sun Casino. The Wolf Den. Wow.
It's like a cougar sound.
So we're gonna do a little Q&A video today. I asked you to send in questions on Instagram and a community post here on YouTube. We're gonna get to them. All right, so first question, Ben Coombs asks Ben Coombs asks, if you had to borrow someone's rig to use for a gig, whose would it be? I think either John Mayer's or Mike Campbell's. I think John Mayer's would be awesome because of the dumbles and how great it sounds, but the trade-off with that would be I'd probably have to have John's tech with me to run it because I probably wouldn't even know how to power it on. And Patrick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to turn the Xbox on. Get out of my life.
I'm trying to make a video here. Mike Campbell's is awesome. Just the 5E3 Tweed Deluxe and the Princeton reverb together. Pretty simple pedal board. In fact, I might actually try and put that kind of rig together pretty soon.
Noah, this is where we went to the cave that time on the way to DC.
All right, so DRW229 asks, any tips for a guitarist's first tour? I'm gonna let the whole band answer this one, but I'll start. When you're on the road, I think it's really important to do a couple of things. A, drink a lot of water, try and stay rested, stay healthy, and that includes eating well. Try not to eat fast food every day if you can help it. Try and, stop in cities or places where you can get a decent meal for lunch.
Get out of the van, get out of the hotel.
Yeah, get out, walk around, stretch out, especially on days like today. We've got a really long, this is a travel day for us. So this is like a 15-hour van ride. So stopping every couple hours, wash your hands, stay healthy.
But for guitar players specifically?
Yeah, for guitarists.
Small rig equals happy band. If you can get really good tone
And a happy pack.
out of and a happy pack. If you can get good tone out of a small rig, bring that rig. Everyone will be happier.
Keep your stage volume appropriate to the room that you're playing in. If you're in a small room, there is absolutely no reason to blast everyone in the face with your guitar amp. Whereas if you're playing an amphitheater outside, or if you're playing a larger theater stage, or just a larger room in general, you can turn it up a little bit louder. But maybe bring a shield, a plexiglass shield or something for your amp.
Yeah, I will say I've traveled with one of those plexiglass shields of shame
We're traveling with one right now.
for years. Yeah, because what that allows me to do is take my big amps out and run them like they need to be run, which is loud, to get the tone you want, but then you're not killing front of house. Because even if you have a small amp, a small low wattage amp that's firing direct into front of house, you're immediately gonna get the front of house guy to tell you to turn down, even if it's not that loud. So there's a bunch of companies that make them. I think mine's from like Clear Sonic or something. Noah's using it on this gig because I'm running the Helix, which was another question somebody asked. But yeah, a little plexiglass baffle really helps. Or you can turn your amp around. Kelly, thoughts?
Watch baseball.
Try to be more like Dwight.
Well, that was a long day. It was a long day, but we're here in
We're here,
Delaware.
barely existing.
I think we're in Delaware.
Atoms are just vibrating enough to exist as a person.
Look at you talking about quantum physics.
Look at me.
On the vlog. Yeah, so we're just gonna post up here for the night and finish up the drive in the morning. How much further is it? Like 4 hours, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so knock out the 4 hours to the gig tomorrow morning and then play a show. God, it feels good to stand. Okay, Mohegan Sun Casino, here we are. All right, so AJ Guitarist asks, what's my favorite part about being a hired gun? That's a really good question. I was actually thinking about it on the way up here. It's awesome because it allows me to wear a lot of different musical hats. I get to play with artists like Noah Guthrie. I get to play with artists like Jesse Wilson. It allows me to play the different types of music that I like to play with different artists. I'm not tied down to just one band or one act. And because I've had the opportunity to do that, it's allowed me to do some really cool things. I've played some really amazing venues and been to places in the world I would have never gotten to go to had I done anything else for a living.
Hey guys, it's Rhett. After my recent facial reconstructive surgery, I'm a little bit uglier than I was. Each bass case has no handle. It's like a small keyboard.
Okay. So they said we were playing in the middle of the casino, and I think they literally meant we're playing in the middle of the casino. That. It's gonna be a cool gig tonight.
So is this a set list? I was like, yeah. He's like, can we make copies for our crew? I was like, yeah, if you're interested.
The crew here is amazing. Like stage crew, the front of house guys, Mohegan Sun, well done. These guys are amazing. So just getting set up here. I want to show you my rig that I'm using tonight. I'm using the Helix again for this run, but I've made a slight change. I've got a second power cap, so I'm running stereo power cap pluses. For the first time, I've actually never run these together before. Here they are. So I'm trying out the Essex, basically the Alnico Blue on this one, and the Vintage 30 on this one. Again, these are just for stage volume. Front of house is seeing the stereo left and right out of the Helix. Now, one question I've gotten a lot since I started talking about the Helix are my Helix presets, do they work for the HX Stomp? And the answer is not yet, but this week I will have some HX Stomp presets available for download. So if you're watching this video sometime in the future, check the description for a link to those. And if you're watching this when it's posted, give it a day or two and I will have HX Stomp presets for all of you Stomp players out there.
Black inside me, slowly seeping from the world. Everything I cherish is slowly dying over its
Question.
Put your clothes on.
Every clip, dude. Every single time I put the camera on, you say the same thing.
That, like in your house with the headphones on, clothes are on, the camera on me, for God's sake.
Rodrigo Manja asks, how do you handle nerves before a show?
Put your clothes on.
Okay, how do you handle nerves before a show? I think it's a lot of repetition. Anytime I'm going on stage for the first time with like a new act or a new set of music or something like that, I'm pretty nervous, but I've been playing with these guys for so long, I don't really get that nervous before a
Your
show.
mistakes don't matter.
We all know where we all mess up all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly. I know where we
see
mess
it
up.
coming.
Noah, how do you handle nerves for a show?
I mean, I did it to you at the at dinner. I just worry nonstop until it's here, and then I'm fine. So there's my tip: worry nonstop until it's there, and
that's
then
bad.
you're fine.
That's bad advice.
Don't worry. If you've prepared and you've practiced and you know your stuff, then you should go on with confidence. I think confidence is a choice.
I think Michael Jordan said that.
Yeah, Michael Jordan said that.
Are you doing it right now?
Yeah.
Now I'm watching you.
How'd it go tonight?
Could have been worse. Should have been better.
Well, tonight was okay. It wasn't our best show. It wasn't our worst show. It was decent at best. And that's kind of how things go sometimes. Not every show you play is going to be a ringer. You're not going to knock every single guitar solo out of the park. You're not going to hit every part. We were all making mistakes tonight. But rather than try and make a bunch of excuses for it, you just kind of accept it. You laugh about it, but you internalize it and think, okay, how can I work on this to do this better the next time? And you just have a good show. It's a lesson I learned kind of the hard way. Years of beating myself up after playing a wrong part or screwing up and playing a bad solo, which I've done plenty of times, or just having bad shows. I used to internalize that and beat myself up to no end for playing poorly. And honestly, it kind of took a lot of the fun out of being a musician for a long time. And so as I've gotten older and I guess a little more mature, I realized, you know what? As long as you played the best you could that night and you put on a great show for the people that were there and they enjoyed it and had a good time, then the show was a success as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, we got to pack the stuff up on stage, and we're 15 hours from home, so we've got quite a ways to go. We left at 2 a.m. From the hotel, and it's currently 12:38 p.m. We're taking a little break here. And I got this question on YouTube from Quacking96. He asks, or they ask, how do you balance providing your own creative input with just playing the part for the song? Has there ever been that tension for you, and if so, how did you grapple with it? And I was just talking to Noah about it. I think in a situation like Noah's band, generally I'm the one writing the guitar parts for the song, so they're my parts, and in that case there is no tension between playing the parts for a song and creative input. But I have been in situations before where I was coming into a situation where there was either a studio guitar player that played on the record, or there was a guitar player in the band before me, and in that situation I kind of thought about it as entering into the band trying to play what they were used to hearing. So coming in and trying to play what the previous guitar player was doing as close as possible while still being myself. And then after a few weeks, a few months of playing with that act, I would then start to try and kind of change some stuff and do it my way. And that was kind of the best way I found to balance being true to the guitar parts that were there while still being myself. And then eventually with most of the stuff, it got to the point where I was just playing my own parts anyway. So this is a really great question, again on YouTube, from Thor Anderson. Thor asks, with your experience, do you think that it's the most skilled musicians who are also the ones who make it in the music business, or do other qualities play a greater effect on making it to the top? Are certain genres easier to do than others and therefore require less skill? I talk about this a little bit on the channel here and there, but just because you might be the most skilled player, the fastest player, the player with the best tone or the best stage look, none of that matters as much as being reliable, being professional, and being a good hang. Now, there is a threshold of musicianship where you have to have a certain understanding of your instrument. You have to have a certain grasp and control and authority of your guitar tone and your sound, or whatever instrument you play. You have to have a certain level of skill in order to make it. But what I've found is once you get above that threshold, basically everyone can play. Everyone's a great player. Everyone has great tone and great gear. The reason people get gigs and the reason people hold on to gigs, it's mostly a personality thing. Are you a good person to hang out with? Are you respectable? Are you professional? Do you show up to rehearsals on time and prepared? Do you take time to focus on your image and your look and dress yourself well? These are all things that matter in a professional context, especially in the sense of a hired gun, where you're essentially a contractor who's trying to get hired by artists and bands to play. So yes, to a certain extent, skill matters, but it doesn't matter as much as your personality and the hang. Are you the type of person that people want to spend 15 hours in a van with at a time? That's really the most important thing. Ken Millmine wants to know, what are some elements to writing a great song? Noah?
There's a lot of different things, but I would say number one is just being honest as you can, and also just knowing what kind of emotion you're trying to...
We're in the middle of talking. Anybody got to take a boo-boo? That's good.
Main thing is just being honest, and whatever. For me, the biggest part of a song is the original emotion and feeling that came up when you started writing the song. You want to carry that through the whole thing, and to the finish you want it to be there. And I guess that makes sense. It's different for everybody. It really is different for everybody. You could ask this question to a million writers and they'd all tell you something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, honesty and being true to yourself and true to the song. What does the song need to do to hit people in the feels?
Yeah, and I guess sometimes not every song needs to be a crazy emotional journey. Sometimes a song just needs to feel good and be pretty simple and straightforward.
Yes.
So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the question and answer video. If you want me to do more of these, let me know by leaving a comment down below. And if you want to be in the loop for future Q&As, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Rhett Shull. I'll also link all of the dudes in the band, all their social media below as well. Thanks to them for being good sports. Let me bring a camera around and, show you guys what life on the road is really like. Like I said, all of you Helix users, you can find my Helix presets linked down below. As soon as I have the HX Stomp presets available for download, those will be linked below as well. If you want to support the channel directly, be sure to check out the Green Room. There you can check out the weekly lessons I'm doing over there. You can download my original music that I do for the channel, and you can sign up for one-on-one Skype sessions with me if you are so inclined. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.